It took Superlek just 49 seconds to get the job done against Jonathan Haggerty at One Champion 168. Welcome back to the CPS Report. This is Fighting with Friends. Welcome back. So One Championship 168 took place on the early hours of Saturday morning, South African time. I think it was about 2 a.m. And with me this evening, of course, breaking down the review, we have the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world. That is, of course, Brother Gaia. Brother Gaia, what are you saying there?
I'm good, but I'm happy to be it was exciting weekend of fights. Can't wait to get in with you guys.
Brad was an amazing card. Shout out to the guys at One Championship doing their thing. But also with us this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, this man is still undefeated as a father. Mr. Brazil himself, George Jetson. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Jedi Night.
We're happy to be back to bring you guys some sauce.
Nice, Jedi. Welcome back, and welcome back to both of you.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Let's jump straight into it. Massive card. So let's have a look. And as always, we're going to start at the top of the card, where, like I said, it took Superlek just 49 seconds. 49 seconds, guys, to put Jonathan Haggerty out. Jedi, I'm going to start with you because you were the one who said that Jonathan Haggerty was going to be too big for Superlek. So what do you have to say for yourself now this Sunday?
All I can say is that we can't trust the English to do anything. So, not surprised, but I am a little shocked that it was done so quickly. I mean, the guy literally threw one shot and it was over. It was worse than watching Conor McGregor versus Jose Aldo. It was like it wasn't even a fight. Even Superlek was like, "Yo, it's done." What happened?
Now that you mentioned that, it was very reminiscent of that McGregor Aldo fight. Yeah,
it was.
Definitely. Jedi, anything else to say?
Yeah, I mean, I guess the Superlek is now the One Punch Man. So congrats to him.
Congrats indeed. Shout out to Superlek, the kicking machine, getting it done for Thailand.
One time.
Brother Gaia, you of course said that Superlek was going to be too much for Mr. Haggerty, and on the night he was. What do you see in terms of, or what did you see in terms of more detailed analysis? I know there wasn't much to go on; it was 49 seconds, but how did you see it playing out from your perspective?
Look, I was just as surprised that everybody else was. I thought the fight was going to go more than a couple of rounds at least. But Jonathan Haggerty doesn't really always go the distance if you look at his past fights, especially when he's having title fights. The common thing I noticed, I think I'm not sure if I brought it up in the preview, is that he's notorious for getting hurt in title fights. Even though he wins them, Jonathan Haggerty has been dropped in almost all of his defenses, which I thought was something that Superlek was going to exploit. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Superlek did come out after the fight mentioning that he was actually training that elbow for Haggerty because he notices Haggerty's open mostly when he throws the overhand right. That's usually his go-to weapon as well in terms of Haggerty. So Superlek, and I've seen him use that elbow in the past in a lot of fights, but usually for as a defensive weapon rather than an offensive weapon. Throw the elbow in the guard, and that's exactly what he did. And dude, that completely stalked him. I thought I was not happy. I was completely surprised, but for me, either guy who would come out on top, I would have been quite happy because I enjoy watching both gentlemen fight. But now Superlek's doubleweight and two-sport champion, and dude, that's very big for the Thai fighters, especially for Superlek because I think this is now a 12-fight win streak, if I'm not mistaken. So, dude's an absolute menace for the bantamweight and featherweight, flyweight. And looking forward to seeing who he's going to line up with next. Can't really say too much on the fight because there's only 49 seconds, as you mentioned. But in that 49 seconds, Haggerty did look like he wanted to be aggressive. It looked like he was trying to sort of utilize what Jed was mentioning, his power and size. But like I said, I always felt that Superlek had more tools to the game, and he showed it. So yeah, good congratulations to Superlek, dude. I mean, the dude is top of the echelon in the One Championship.
Absolutely,
Rematch, bruh.
absolutely. So yeah, speaking
Rematch.
of rematch, we have someone in the comments actually mentioned they'd like to see him fight Rodtang.
Yeah,
And there
I
was also
agree.
talk of a rematch. So
Ooh,
where do you
Super
guys
League.
stand? Yeah, where do you guys stand on this? I'll go to Jedi first.
I would agree with that guy saying that Rotang is he's more deserving of getting a rematch because he hasn't lost since then. So
Mm,
he should get a rematch now to fight for the belt at flyweight. He must
yeah,
make Super League come down. That'll be more
yeah.
in his favor than him trying to go up and fight Super League there. Not that Super League is a bantamweight. He also just went up, but he is a bigger, he is a taller dude. So I would
Mm,
say let
mm,
Rotang do it, and then Haggerty probably has to fight somebody else to make himself like the guy that has to be next.
mhm,
But
mhm.
I mean, I'm sure if they fight again, the fight will be different. Obviously, you know what I mean. It's just one of
Yeah.
those things that's how it happened.
Yeah, it's a fight at the end of the day. Brother Gaia, your thoughts here?
Look, I'm not against the idea of the rematch just because of the fashion of how the fight played out. It was very quick, and obviously both guys we all know they're highly elite strikers. So I don't know if the fight will play out the same way if it goes into the rematch. I still would probably go with Rodtang, but I think the best fight to make going forward would probably be a rematch with Rodtang for the flyweight Muay Thai championship, and not because I think Super League is the flyweight kickboxing world champion, not the Muay Thai world champion. So if they would fight each other, it
Cool.
would most likely for the flyweight Muay Thai, which that means Rodtang will put the title on the line. I just think that the rematch between the two of them would be probably more entertaining. And like Jade said, Rodtang hasn't lost since he lost against Super League. He has won one fight since then. Um,
Yeah.
and it would be nice. It would just be a very good fight to watch the two guys go and give Haggerty some time because that's a bit of a tough pill to swallow to lose in that kind of fashion. Also coming in
True.
as the bigger, more aggressive, more confident kind of individual and taking that kind of lick. I think he's going to have to take some time just to recoup.
Mm-mm. For sure, Jedi. Any final thoughts here?
Um. Yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting on what he decides he wants to do. But yeah, as we say, you'll have to go back down
Mm,
to defend that belt there. You know what I
mhm,
mean?
mhm.
Either that or he has to give the belt up and stay bantamweight. We'll see what happens.
I think Super League wants to defend both titles simultaneously. 'Cause I don't think he has an issue going making the weight. I think maybe flyweight is a bit tough for him because we saw when he fought Rodtang, he struggled to make that weight. But I mean, there could be a lot of other reasons that could have contributed to that. As for Haggerty, he still has the kickboxing bantamweight world championship on around his waist, so he can still defend that. You know what I mean? So options are available for the guy. So we'll see. We'll see if he wants to make the rematch instant or he'll give it to Rodtang.
Mm. Mm. All right, boys. Once again, congratulations to the kicking machine Superlek for getting it done in spectacular fashion. Nice one.
Thailand.
Personally, I would like to see Superlek go up against Rantang next as well.
Yeah,
Rantang, of
that's the
course,
fight.
a big friend of the show here at the CPS Reports. All right, boys, let's keep it moving to our next fight here at a catchweight division where we saw the man who yields to no one, staying true to his name, walking Liam Harrison down, and eventually getting the finish. Wow.
Yeah,
Brother
beast.
Gaia, what more can you say, bro? I mean, it's all in his name, but he never seems to
Yeah.
disappoint this guy.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's pretty much how we thought the fight was gonna go. Exactly when myself and Jude were saying that the conditioning of Sixan and just the forward pressure and the man hits like a truck even when he kicks. Not to make any excuses, the fight was at Catchwake and Liam Madison again is 1 year away from being 40 years old. So would this fight be the same way if it was maybe 5 year difference? If 5 years earlier, would the fight would have been played out the same? We don't know. That also would have meant that Sexton would have been 30 years old, so he also would have been in his prime. But the two styles, for me personally, meant that I thought Sexton was just going to be a little bit more. He was going to have more to do, more to offer, and you could see from the moment he started pushing Liam Madison back, so from the first second of the first round, and I just knew, just had a feeling. I was like, this fight's gonna stay the way it's moving, and eventually Six just gonna get that kill shot, and he did. And just well deserved. And yeah, what can you say? He's one of the greatest. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's gonna be able to go make a title run, being at 35 years old. I think he's gonna maintain to be sort of the gatekeeper, but for that 145, 135 pound weight discrepancy or distribution between those two weight classes. You'll probably see Sexan be the gatekeeper. So if you can get through him, you can definitely challenge top 5, I think.
Yeah,
But,
best of luck to you with that, right?
yeah, no, 100%. Overall, I thought his performance was
Sheesh.
absolutely brilliant, dude. And also that's also two brothers, Sexan and his younger brother, fought basically within 24 hours from each other, and his brother also won his fight. So yeah, I think those families just gonna be rolling in happiness right now.
Definitely. Jedi Knight, your thoughts about the fight, brother?
Yeah, as we called today, he just kind of overwhelmed Harrison and kind of
Yeah.
nullified his speed and his legs.
Mhm. Yeah.
Brilliant fight, flawless, almost flawless fight. As for going for the title, I mean, there's always a possibility these Thai guys can fight till they're like 52. So he's still got a good couple of years in him. And I think he also put on a pace that we don't usually see with Thai fighters, which was
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, super aggressive. Super aggressive.
Definitely. Yeah, like I said, true to form, bro. True to his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah.
Brother Gaia, any final thoughts regarding this one?
Just a big congratulations to obviously Sexan, but that's what we expected from the guy, and also just want to wish Liam Madison a good retirement for the gentleman. Like that was his last fight. He mentioned backstage that that's the end. He can't take the punishment anymore, and but a
Heavy.
good career. At the end of the day, he was one of the staple names in the One Championship and also outside of the One Championship. But what a way to go out! He went out against a legend. So yeah, just a big performance, and I enjoyed that co-main event. Well deserved to be co-main event.
Yeah, indeed, well deserved. Okay. I see Jedi Knight's coming back to his post. Jedi Knight. Jedi Knight. Any final thoughts regarding this one before we keep it moving?
Who's this now again?
This is the man who
Sexan.
wants to know one.
Mm.
Yeah, as I said, I think he looks like he can still make a run at the title, and we'll see what happens unless Japan stands in his way.
Yeah, that's where he
Ooh,
got stopped.
controversial, but we'll, more about that at the end of the show, guys. But anyway, boys, let's keep it moving, and that means we're going to an MMA bout which took place
Mhm.
with Shamil Erdongan getting the job done against the Burmese Python. Pretty dominant from what I could
Yeah.
see. Again, just that Dagestani wrestling is just such a problem, bro. Like I remember texting you, Ross, just asking
Yeah.
you, like, how do you beat this kind of fighting style,
How do
bro?
you stop it?
How do you stop it? Who's going to be the person to do it? Is anybody gonna have enough to do it, bro? Because it just seems so overpowered.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
brother Guy, your thoughts here about how this one played out?
I was a little bit surprised in Anglang Na Sang. I expected a bit more from him, considering that he was the former champion in middleweight and light heavyweight, and his style is pretty aggressive. However, like you just said, how do you beat the Dagestani wrestling? And once Shamil, also just to add to this, he didn't only win through the wrestling. Like he was dominant in the wrestling, we saw that. But I mean, on the hands as well, he was winning the fight there. His boxing
His
was a bit
striking
more
was,
crisp.
bro. I mean, even his kicks, he was throwing some
Yeah,
crazy kicks, bro. His
it
striking
was
was on point.
like absolutely amazing to watch. I think it's going to be a good nightmare for whatever division decides to stay in. Probably going to be light heavyweight if you think about the catch weight limit that they fought at. Um, Big performance, and I think to answer your question, 80, I would love to see Shamil maybe get one more fight, maybe a Z sport, but that's heavyweight. Maybe Anya the Redder. That will be a very good fight because that is the former champion at light heavyweight. And if he gets through RDR, then I would love to see him fight against Anatoly Malikin. Granted, Anatoly Malikin's defending his title in November at heavyweight. He is the light heavyweight and middleweight champion. So he's the 3 division champion. So I think Anatoly Malikin may have the key to beating the Dagestani wrestling. And I would love to see one championship make that matchup. Because Shamil looks beastly on the feet and on the ground. And I think Malikan being the person that's cleaning out all 3 divisions at this current moment, I would love to see him fight against someone like that, Anatoly Malikan for sure. But in the end, I would say what a masterful performance from Shamil. Also, that's also his debut, by the way, in the One
Yeah,
Championship. I thought
absolutely.
that was flawless debut fight against a former champion, and doing it like that, big stuff, big stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely agree, bro. Jedi Knight, did you manage to catch this one?
Yeah, I did watch it. I thought the one guy was very shit and the other guy was very average. So, um, yeah, good win for good win for Erdongan. It was against a very, I guess, well-known, almost retired guy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I look forward to seeing more of him.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts regarding this one before we keep moving?
Yeah, I
Um,
think Amlangsa was on holiday. He came there for a holiday, not to fight, because he looked uber slow, like he was stuck in mud.
slow, yeah. Yeah.
Bruh, I mean,
Non-stop.
with that Dagestani wrestling, bruh, it's can humble a lot of guys, bruh. Can make a lot of guys look subpar.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because
But
yeah, I've
yeah,
seen
we'll
it with
see what
my own
happens.
eyes, bro. But yeah, any other thoughts here, Ross? You wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to obviously just say that looking very forward to seeing what Shamil has to offer going forward. And then for Anglang Sa, I would probably say rethink what you're going to do with the future, bro, because his way back to the title has not been the most brightest at the moment. And also, when he mentioned in the pre-fight conference, he was saying that he felt that he had the tools to beat the Dagestani wrestling style, and obviously we didn't see that. So what that indicates to me is that he's thinking one thing and he believes it, but in reality, it's not necessarily showing out to be that way. So then
A little bit, a little
I would say
delulu, you say.
yeah, just reconsider where you at with your career right now, and do you still think you can make it for a title run? I think that's for me what's going to
Mm.
be important.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But all the best, of course, to the Burmese Python. He's done a lot for
Mm.
the sport. All right, boys, we're going to keep it moving now to some bantamweight Muay Thai, where we saw Jedi's favorite fighter, Johnny Link, uh, throwing
Woo!
absolute hammers, bro. Fucking
Yeah,
kettleballs on his hands, bro. It was crazy.
yeah,
Yo, the power was on
yeah.
display for everyone to see for this one, bro. Yo,
Wow.
Asa Ten Pow was wearing those shots, but
Mm.
yeah, John Lineker enough to get the job done, knocking
Mhm.
Asa Ten Pow out in round two. Brother Guy, as far as more detailed analysis here,
Mhm.
what did you see, bro?
Well, John Lineker didn't really change up any of his styles from what we watched when he was fighting in UFC, and also pretty much in the one championship, he utilizes the power and the one thing I will say that I found different about John Lineker would be that he looks a bit faster for some reason. He looks a little bit quicker than what he was when we were watching him in the UFC. Probably could because he was battling with weight cuts during that time. In this fight, he looked like he was pushing the pace. Um, Asa Ten Pow had absolutely nothing that he was offering going forward was stopping John Lineker in his forward progression. It didn't do anything. He was throwing spinning back kicks, nothing worked. You could just see that for the however long the fight was, it was like 6 or 7 minutes. Asa Ten Pow was just trying to get away. He wasn't trying to
Mm.
actually change the fight into his direction. Everything John Lineker threw, from body shots to hooks, was just like you say, throwing the kitchen sink at it, the kettlebells for hands. Because
But to be
everything that he
honest,
did, yeah.
sorry, now I'm just saying I don't blame him for wanting to get away, bro, because he was wearing
Oh,
those shots, bro.
yeah.
Yo,
And
he
and the
was
thing
wearing
is,
those shots.
I personally thought that because Lineker previously, when I've seen him take losses, right, was because maybe you could see him just getting tired and other opponents just outpacing or outstrike him, and then eventually they just make him fold. But also those were all predominantly MMA fights when that was happening, so people will utilize clinching just to gas him out. And in this fight, there was absolutely none of that because it was in Muay Thai. So it kind of favored John Lineker. And John Lineker also came into the bout with a number of boxing fights previously. So it did favor him a lot, and I think what was really important is that John Lineker looked like he actually like he didn't have a battle with in terms of weight cut, and I think that's what we kind of saw in this fight. John Lineker that has a good weight, a good camp, looks to be one of the most dangerous guys. Granted, also like in the one championship, he was the former champion in the bantamweight. And that was MMA. Now he's on a run and he's looking to call out some of the big names. I don't know if beating Asa Ten Pow meant that he could really call out the big names, but I mean his record speaks for itself, and also his CV speaks for itself. So I do think making those big call outs at the end of the fight was really nice to see. But yeah, big performance. Asa Ten Pow had nothing for him. And John Lineker's left hook was one of the cleanest I've seen him do in a long time. So big performance. I think it's well deserved for him to call out some of the top 5 guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, massive performance by John Lineker, and of
Last,
course doing
last
it
thing I would,
for Brazil. So
sorry,
yeah.
last thing I would say is I would love for John Lineker to utilize or to bring the kicking game, into his arsenal. Because if he's going to continue doing Muay Thai, if he's only going to rely solely on his boxing, I don't think he's going to last very long. But one thing also sure is that there's no one else as powerful as he is.
Mm,
No one carries that power, but he has been stopped a few times in the one championship before. So
fair point. Fair
I would
point.
love to see him. If he can utilize more kicks to his game, he might become a puzzle.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean that with that power, if he adds any versatility to his game, be hell of a thing to deal with. But I
Yeah,
see we've got a special guest here. It's the baby Sai.
maybe Sai.
The
He's gonna
baby
be a
Sai
future
by
champ,
sub, future
future Muay
champ.
Thai champ. Yeah.
That would be 2048, I predict. Anyway, gentlemen, that is pretty much it as far as this card goes. Of course, the co-main event was unfortunately cancelled,
Mhm.
and we of course wish Ruotolo all the best. He got injured, right? Ruotolo
Yeah, he
got
got
injured,
injured.
so we wish
Yeah.
him all the best on his road to recovery.
I want to say one thing
Just
about on that quickly, AD.
yeah,
Let me just
yeah,
add
yeah.
to that one thing. I just want to also get the perspective from the audience members to hear what your thoughts on this is. Do you think it's fair that the one championship stripped Mikey Musumeci from his flyweight grappling title? Because the dude had to make weight 155 to fight Kato Tolo, and then the announcement got made, I think, 2 days before the fight, and then Mikey had to go and make flyweight weight again, so he had to do double weight cut within 2 days to make that fight, and unfortunately didn't make the weight, and then they just pulled the fight completely from the card, um, and then also stripped him from his title. I want to
Mm-mm.
get you guys' thoughts on that because I don't think that's completely fair. It's my personal opinion. I don't think it's completely fair on Mikey to have been stripped from his title, considering that it wasn't his fault that Kay couldn't make the fight, and then he had to go and make weight again in such short time period. I don't think that's very fair on the fighter. But yeah, I'll have to get your thoughts in the comments what you think of that.
Yeah, yeah, very, very good question. Yeah, would kind of agree with that, brother guy. It doesn't sound fair to me. Jedi Knight, you have any thoughts there? I don't see you with your headset on, so I'm not sure if you can hear us. You're on mute, bruh. I'm trying to unmute you, but it said you muted yourself.
It's this guy. It's
Oh.
Okay,
my boss.
see.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't know why they did that because as after the guy made weight and it wasn't a flyweight anything. You know what I mean? You can always
Yeah,
try and go to defend that title.
yeah.
So I don't see
I
why
think
they
he's
did
gonna
that.
win it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a bit sucky, but I do think he's gonna be the champ anyway. I don't see him not getting the title back.
Mm.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Okay, guys. A few other things that we saw at the event was Mighty Mouse being the first ever inductee into the One Championship Hall of Fame. Shout out to Mighty
Mhm.
Mouse, who is also, of course, big friend of the show over here at the CPS
Yeah,
reports. We also saw Chatri Sityodtong get his
yeah.
BJJ Black belt from Henzo
Well
Gracie,
done, well
which
done.
was really fantastic to see. A great moment.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let's keep it moving, boys. And now we're going to go to a comment that we received on one of our videos that we released last week. Just want to get the thoughts of the panel regarding this one. Okay, so love the show, guys. Thank you. I just wanted to get clarity on something that Jedi said at the 11:45 mark regarding Thais not doing so well against Japanese due to Thais fighting at a slower pace. I disagree wholehearted. What Jedi mentioned is just a snapshot of current fights on one Friday fights and does not tell the whole story. The Thais absolutely excel at fighting the Japanese. If you look at all the fights between Thais and Japanese, you will find out of that the Thais win about 70 to 75% of all their fights. So I think that's pretty much the main point here, and even higher in other organizations.
Mm, mm.
So yeah, obviously a bit of discussion point here. So I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts. Jedi, since the comment was directed at you, what are your thoughts here?
Yeah, no, dude, I'm not disagreeing with what the guy said. If you look at all fights, no, I don't know how far back he's gone, then
Mm.
surely I can agree that Thais has beaten Japanese guys more often. But we were talking more recently in the one championship, because that's what we were talking about. The Japanese kickboxing dudes are rising up very quickly
Mm.
and seem to be slowly getting the better of the Thai guys.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm not disagreeing with the stats that he's showing us. Thank you, and maybe I'll speak to my producer to maybe get your job on the show if you use punctuation like apostrophes. But yeah, we can chat about that.
All right, brother
Yeah,
guy,
no,
any
firstly,
thoughts
big
on
thanks to the comment as well. Muay
Yeah,
Thai
absolutely.
for Live 304. Big thanks for that comment. Mr. Joseph,
Awesome.
everything for saying that. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that's
absolutely do appreciate.
just to follow up on what Jade was saying there, it's because that's my personal opinion is that I've been watching it since 2019 One Championship that is, and I've noticed that Thai Muay Thai fighters and Thai boxers have been wiping out the Japanese fighters. But like you just mentioned, I would notice from around 2022, 2023, going up until now, the Japanese have slowly been turning the tide, or at least the fighters that have been introduced to the One Championship since then, 2022, 23, have been looking quite phenomenal. Obviously, you got the likes of Takeru. That was one of the most popped in my head right now. Obviously, he lost to Superlek, but I think Takeru can beat a lot of the Thai fighters in the bantamweight Muay Thai division. But like you was mentioning, just of late, there has been a little bit a slow change of the tide. Still dominated by the Thai fighters for sure. I mean, it's in their tradition, it's part of the religion. It's hard to beat them at their own game. But we have to sort of recognize
Yeah,
when other fighters come and
yeah.
sort of make noise, make noise. I
And
would
this
say
is
this to
like,
conclude, Ajit.
mm, no, no, no. Go
No,
ahead.
I was just gonna conclude by saying that what I noticed with Thai guys who really do struggle with is not necessarily Japanese fighters per se, but whenever there's a style of your westernized boxing or your European kickboxing that comes in, that's where I find
Mm,
Thai Muay Thai guys have a bit of a struggle with that, with traditional boxing
mm.
techniques. But other than that, they still top of the food chain.
Mm. Jedi, any final thoughts on that?
So I just lost you.
Any final thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, no, thanks for the comment. I don't know what his handle was, and the Thai guys are always gonna be up top. There's always gonna be a couple of Thai guys that's outright. You know what I mean? The masters
Yeah.
of the sport, because it is their sport, as Ross said, and that's what we expect of them. But
Mhm.
like we say, we can't deny the Japanese guys of late have been on a
Yeah.
tear. Unless it's like little way kickboxer that throws headbutts
Mm.
and shit that will walk in there and destroy all of them. But yeah, we'll see how it unfolds through. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Yeah. Also, we finally hit our first 1,000 views. So, guys, 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 thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Connect.
And yeah, we were also very happy to see that we had received some engagement, well, quite a bit of engagement from Thailand. So to the Thai
Mm.
people, we just want to say Sawadika, Sawadika. And
Sawadika.
oh yeah, and then I think that pretty much covers it, boys. So
Yep.
yeah, thank you both very much once again for your time today, fellas. It's
Thank
been a
you.
wonderful card, and we are
Yeah,
super hyped for the next one championship card, and we'll be very happy
absolutely.
to be covering that for you when it
Yeah.
happens. If you enjoyed the
May
video,
the
please
power
don't
of
forget.
global Tech be with all of you.
May the power of Clover Tech Share be with all of you. And if you agree with that, please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Ladies and gentlemen, from myself, Brother Gaia, and Jedi Knight, thank you very much once again for the support. And we will see you on the next one. Peace.
Cheers.